They became a symbol of a nation's grief and gratitude after the Queen's death, and now hundreds of Paddingtons left in London's parks will be donated to charity. Now, more than 1,000 Paddington Bears and other soft toys which were left outside royal residences in tribute to the Queen are being donated to the children's charity Barnardo's.
The bears will be professionally cleaned and then delivered over the coming weeks. But first, a select group of them had an official engagement with the Queen's consort, Camilla, as our royal correspondent Daniela Ralph reports.
Keeping an eye on the hundreds of bears that have been left in tribute to her mother-in-law, Camilla, Queen Consort, was photographed in Clarence House last Thursday, 64 years to the day since the first Paddington book was published. After the Queen's death, every royal residence was surrounded by a sea of flowers. And in amongst those floral tributes were the Paddington Bears, so many of them, in London, Windsor, Sandringham, Balmoral, snuck in between the flowers, a nod to the Queen's special Jubilee surprise when he joined her for tea.
Thank you for having me. I do hope you're having a lovely Jubilee.
Tea?
Oh, yes, please.
Even other members of the royal family noticed the impact of Paddington as they thanked crowds in the days after the Queen's death.
I think Paddington might have knocked the corgi off the top spot there. I'm not sure how they'll take the corgis won't take that very well.
After the funeral, the flowers and bears were carefully cleared away and moved to Buckingham Palace, Clarence House and the Royal Parks Nursery in Hyde Park. They will now be professionally cleaned and given to the children that Barnardo's cares for in the weeks ahead.
I mean, it's absolutely wonderful that we've managed to find sort of a home for these bears. They were all left there. You know, Paddington was left in Paddington Station seeking a home. These bears were left in the royal parks effectively seeking a home. And it's wonderful to think that all of these bears will go to children who will appreciate them and love them for many years.
Donating the bears to Barnardo's is a tribute in itself. For more than 30 years, the Queen was the charity's patron, carrying out a number of engagements for them before handing that duty over to the then Duchess of Cornwall 6 years ago. Barnardo's says the bears will be well looked after by the children they support, and they will be told the story of this special group of bears and how they came to be donated. Daniela Ralph, BBC News.
How lovely. Yeah, and later we will be speaking to Tom Jarvis, who's the director of the parks, of the Royal Parks, and the chief executive of Barnardo's to find out a bit more about how it's going to work.
It's one of those where every time you see that clip, even though we've seen it so many times since the Jubilee and the summer and everything, of course, that's happened since, it's still amazing that the Queen was such a good sport and did it.
It was a magical moment, wasn't it? And a bit like London 2012, just a surprise. It was beautiful.
Exactly.